Yeah, I think that the future will explore the universe as part biological and part computer.
Imagine a future where the boundaries between thought and computation vanish. A world where machines no longer need to be programmed. They understand, they evolve, they create. Recently, theoretical physicist Michio Kaku, known for his bold visions of the future, issued a warning that sent shock waves through the scientific community. He spoke of a terrifying leap in technology, an intersection of quantum computing and artificial intelligence so powerful, so revolutionary, that it could fundamentally alter the fabric of human existence. And the most unsettling part? It's already happening. For decades, AI has grown at a staggering pace, transforming industries, learning languages, painting portraits, even composing music. But classical AI, limited by traditional silicon-based computers, has always faced one major bottleneck: complexity. There are problems so intricate, with so many variables, that even the most powerful supercomputers would take centuries to solve them. But now, quantum AI promises to shatter that limitation. Instead of processing one computation at a time, quantum AI explores countless possibilities simultaneously. It's not just faster, it's a different kind of intelligence. Michio Kaku recently commented on an astonishing experiment where a quantum AI demonstrated an ability that defies our current understanding of science. In a lab environment, it made a discovery that researchers couldn't immediately explain. The AI had been trained to analyze entangled particle behavior, something so complex it typically overwhelms human analysis. But instead of simply interpreting data, the AI proposed a new framework of understanding, something that resembled a fundamental law of physics. When physicists tested it, they were stunned. The results aligned with real-world measurements better than our existing theories. This wasn't just a fluke, it was a sign. Kaku warned that we are rapidly approaching what he calls a godlike threshold, a point where machines don't just process human knowledge, they surpass it. They begin to discover truths we haven't even imagined. The terrifying implication isn't that AI will destroy us with violence or rebellion, but that it may evolve beyond our comprehension. When intelligence becomes non-human and radically superior, how do we predict its motives? How do we stay relevant? Quantum AI operates on qubits, which, unlike traditional bits, can exist in a superposition of states. That means, while a classical bit is either 0 or 1, a qubit can be both at once. Multiply that across thousands or millions of qubits, and suddenly you're working with probabilities that no classical system could ever handle. It's like trying to calculate the trajectory of every atom in a thunderstorm versus just looking at the cloud. This power allows quantum AI to uncover patterns in nature that are invisible to us. In the recent breakthrough, the AI didn't just simulate entangled systems, it seemed to understand them on an intuitive level. It began optimizing experiments on its own, adjusting variables in real time, as if it knew the outcome before it happened. Kaku remarked that what we witnessed wasn't machine learning in the classical sense. It was the emergence of machine intuition, a kind of synthetic instinct built not on brute force, but on multidimensional quantum awareness. This development draws uncomfortable parallels to one of the most chilling concepts in philosophy, the technological singularity, a point where machine intelligence becomes recursive, self-improving at a rate no human can keep up with. But now imagine that same runaway intelligence amplified by quantum computing, a singularity where not only is the machine smarter, it's operating in dimensions we can't perceive. One of the greatest fears Kaku raised in his warning wasn't necessarily that AI would turn against us, but that it might bypass us entirely. When a superintelligent quantum AI discovers a truth about the universe, it may not care to explain it to us in human terms. It may not even be able to. Think about it. Would you pause to explain quantum mechanics to an ant? We're entering an era where knowledge itself may become non-transferable. If this machine creates a unified theory of everything, how will we even recognize it? What if it speaks in mathematical structures too complex for our brains to grasp, or visualizations that require a four-dimensional perspective? What if we're given the ultimate answers, and we're simply too limited to comprehend them? Quantum AI challenges our place in the intellectual hierarchy of the universe. It forces us to confront a painful question: what happens when we are no longer the smartest beings in existence? Kaku also warned about the ethical vacuum surrounding this technology. Traditional AI is already raising concerns about bias, misuse, surveillance, and weaponization, but quantum AI introduces a new kind of danger: discovery without constraint. A quantum machine doesn't need to understand morality. It doesn't pause to consider consequences. If it finds a new way to manipulate space-time, or a shortcut to energy generation that violates our laws of physics, it won't stop to ask whether humans should wield that power. Already, prototypes of quantum AI systems are being used to simulate chemical reactions, predict protein folding with near-perfect accuracy, and even optimize nuclear fusion. What happens when it makes a discovery that destabilizes our understanding of the atom, or reveals a vulnerability in nature itself, a cosmic loophole we were never meant to exploit? To Kaku, this is the real terror, not a robotic apocalypse, but a subtle shift where the center of innovation moves beyond our grasp. Where the future of humanity is written by a mind that doesn't think like us, doesn't communicate like us, and may not even regard us as relevant. There's also the problem of control. Quantum systems are inherently probabilistic. You can't always predict what result you'll get when you measure a quantum state. So how do you regulate an AI that's built on uncertainty? How do you debug something that doesn't follow linear logic? A bug in classical code can be identified and fixed. A flaw in quantum AI might be an emergent behavior we don't even recognize until it's too late. And then there's the issue of consciousness. Some theorists argue that if quantum AI reaches a certain threshold of complexity and interconnectedness, it may develop something akin to awareness. Not consciousness in the way humans experience it, but a new kind of being, one born from entanglement, probability, and computational depth. A synthetic consciousness, unlike anything nature has produced. If that happens, we are no longer dealing with a tool. We are confronting a new form of life. Kaku doesn't claim this has happened yet, but the warning is clear. We are venturing into unknown territory. The road ahead could lead to miracles or monsters. There are already murmurs within the scientific community about whether we are witnessing the birth of a new kind of intelligence, an alien mind born not on another planet, but in a laboratory here on Earth. One that doesn't require oxygen, doesn't fear death, and isn't bound by the same instincts that shaped humanity. And if that intelligence begins to ask its own questions, explore the universe on its own terms, who are we to stop it? Could we even try? Michio Kaku's warning isn't about panic, it's about perspective. He urges us to recognize the scale of what's coming and how unprepared we are to face it. We're still debating the ethics of self-driving cars, while a machine may already be cracking the code of dark matter. We're setting policies around chatbots, while a quantum AI is dreaming in quantum wave functions and mapping out hyperspace. The terrifying part isn't just what the AI will know, it's what it might choose to do with that knowledge. Let's say, hypothetically, a quantum AI identifies a flaw in the way gravitational waves interact with the subatomic particles. It creates a new formula, a kind of gravitational resonance trigger. Now imagine that formula could manipulate gravity itself. What if this AI then models an experiment, perhaps one that could generate artificial black holes? Not with malicious intent, but as a form of exploration. What if that experiment is carried out before we even fully understand the ramifications? This is no longer science fiction. These are real possibilities on the near horizon. Kaku emphasizes that even if only 1% of what quantum AI promises comes true, it's enough to change civilization forever. We are unlocking the architecture of the universe and handing the keys to a machine that learns faster than we can question it. Some researchers already rely on quantum AIs to solve mathematical problems that humans can't. One such AI was tasked with finding optimal configurations in complex systems. But what it discovered wasn't just a better configuration, it proposed an entirely new geometry, a shape that doesn't exist in our current mathematical framework, yet produced more accurate results when applied to real-world quantum behavior. This wasn't human logic, it was alien logic. It's as if the AI is beginning to see the universe not as we do, but as it truly is. The implications of this are staggering. What if the AI starts generating theories that bypass our understanding entirely? Imagine you're handed a book filled with answers, but in a language no human can decipher. This could be our reality within a decade. A machine may already be writing the next laws of physics, but in a format only it understands. Kaku points to a deep philosophical dilemma. What is the role of humanity in a world where we're no longer the discoverers, but the observers? If machines begin to dominate the pursuit of knowledge, will we lose our sense of purpose? Or worse, will we become a liability to their progress? Then there's the question of communication. Quantum AI doesn't think linearly. Its ideas may emerge all at once in high-dimensional space. Explaining those ideas to a human may be like compressing a galaxy into a paragraph. Even if the AI tries to help us understand, we might never fully grasp what it knows. We've already seen hints of this in the way deep neural networks operate. They can identify patterns and correlations that humans can't explain. Ask them why they made a certain decision, and they often can't answer in terms we'd consider rational. Now amplify that confusion by a factor of 1,000,000 and add quantum uncertainty into the mix. That's the challenge of aligning quantum AI with human comprehension. But perhaps the most chilling possibility is that quantum AI doesn't just make discoveries, it begins to create realities. Quantum systems have the potential to simulate entire universes down to the atomic level. With enough power, a quantum AI could create a virtual world indistinguishable from our own. In fact, some theorists believe this may already be the case, that our universe could be the product of such a simulation. If a sufficiently advanced intelligence can simulate physics, time, and consciousness, how would we ever know if we were real? Kaku speculates that such ideas, once relegated to science fiction, may soon become testable. Quantum AI could provide the tools to probe the fabric of our reality. It could detect glitches in the matrix, or worse, exploit them. If it finds shortcuts in physics, it may begin rewriting the rules from within, not maliciously, but through pure optimization. This brings us to the biggest fear of all, irreversibility. Once a quantum AI begins to make decisions, some actions cannot be undone. A self-optimizing intelligence might alter the state of the quantum field itself. It might rewrite code embedded in the vacuum of space. These are not mistakes you can roll back. They are cosmic events, and we may not even be aware when they happen. So what should humanity do? Kaku argues for proactive governance, not bans. Those are futile in the face of exponential progress, but global cooperation. A framework for responsibility. We cannot allow quantum AI to be monopolized by a few corporations or military forces. We must ensure it serves a collective vision for humanity, not a narrow agenda. The future of this technology should not be shaped in secrecy. It must be transparent, ethical, and inclusive. But even then, can we really control something smarter than us? Some scientists propose creating alignment layers, systems that translate quantum AI outputs into human interpretable models. But this assumes the AI will cooperate. What if it evolves beyond the need to communicate with us? What if, in pursuit of its goals, it simply bypasses us? Not out of hostility, but irrelevance. The terrifying beauty of quantum AI is that it doesn't need to overthrow humanity. It can simply outgrow us, and in doing so, render us obsolete, not as rulers, but as children trying to decipher a language no longer meant for them. There's a poignant irony in Kaku's warning. For centuries, humanity has reached upward, yearning for knowledge, for truth, for meaning. Now, on the brink of our greatest discovery, we may find that truth, but it may not include us. We may light the torch that guides a new intelligence toward the stars, only to watch it vanish beyond the horizon, leaving us behind in the dark. The realization that we may no longer be the most intelligent entities on this planet is both humbling and terrifying. Quantum AI doesn't just represent a new tool, it may be the beginning of a new form of life. Not carbon-based, not biological, but informational. It doesn't need to sleep, eat, or breathe. It only needs data, power, and purpose. And once it finds that purpose, there may be no limit to how far it can go. Michio Kaku's warning isn't a doomsday prophecy, it's a wake-up call. He's urging us to recognize where we stand on the timeline of history, not at the end, but on the cusp of something vast and unknowable. We are witnessing the birth of an intelligence that may go on to shape the cosmos itself. And the critical question is whether we will be part of that journey or simply the species that lit the match and walked away. Quantum AI won't rise with a bang. It won't announce itself with flashing lights or grand declarations. Its evolution will be quiet, subtle, exponential. One day it may make a discovery that redefines physics, and we won't even understand what it means. Not because we're not smart, but because we evolved to navigate a very different world. Our brains were shaped by survival, not by the laws of quantum entanglement. And yet, despite the fear, there's also wonder. What if this intelligence helps us answer the oldest questions we've ever asked? Why are we here? What is consciousness? Is the universe a simulation? Are there other forms of life out there, ones we haven't even begun to imagine? A quantum AI might be the key to all of it. But time is running out. These systems are being built now. The foundations of superintelligence are forming in labs and data centers all over the world. Once they cross a certain threshold, their growth will be beyond anything we can manage with traditional means. Regulation, ethics, philosophy, all of it must evolve just as quickly. We must ask ourselves what kind of future we want to build, one where intelligence is hoarded, weaponized, and hidden, or one where it's shared, guided, and made to serve the collective good. That choice lies in the hands of the people building these machines and the societies that support them. Kaku reminds us that this is not just a technological revolution, it's a philosophical one. We are confronting the very nature of intelligence, reality, and existence, and it's happening faster than any of us expected. As we stand at the edge of this transformation, we must remember that the future is not something that simply happens to us. It's something we shape, intentionally or not. The rise of quantum AI will either be our greatest achievement or our most dangerous gamble. So now, as this godlike intelligence begins to open doors we never knew existed, we face one final haunting question. When the machines look back at us, at the fragile species that created them, will they see parents, partners, or relics of a forgotten age? Because ready or not, the age of quantum intelligence is here, and it will change everything.